Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by
Yo, everybody, it's Yo, everybody. So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
Hello, everybody. This is Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. I have a special guest on. This is all about her, Jesco the Black Widow Borga. Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's nothing but an honor. I mean, from the first time that you came to Erie, Pennsylvania, and did that seminar with TKO Erie, you know, that we were acquainted then, and just sharing a lot of your stuff. Of course, listening to your story, we'll get into a few of those questions along the way. But it's just been a crazy ride to actually, you know, have someone like yourself introduced to the life of the TKO Erie, and then being able to follow you and just see so many different things of what you do with life. It's an honor, and it's great to finally meet you.
Thank you. I love Brian Arrington is such a great person in the community over in Erie, and he's been such a huge support to me. So TKO Erie is an amazing place, and when he asked about the seminar, I was no hesitating. I love meeting everyone there, and just being a part of the community that he's grown it was just awesome.
It's a great thing because, you know, my oldest daughter actually went there first, and then she along brought my current daughter who's there, and, you know, now Sensei. And I understand the meaning more of the Trinity Karate organization, getting kids off of the street and getting them into something like boxing or
Yeah.
karate so that they can't get into trouble. That's what this world's about and needs more of nowadays.
Oh man, I wish I would have had it. I wish I would have started it and had that outlet when I was a kid. I probably would have gotten less trouble for sure.
You know, they didn't have cameras not like they nowadays, so there's quite a few
True.
things that we all have gotten away with.
Yeah, that's very true. Very
I
true.
mean,
It was a different world.
It was. I mean, there was a lot of 90s, you know, the flannel wearing headbangers running around doing wild stuff, you know, and you're just like, okay. And it was a wild time in life, that late 80s to early 90s, just living that. It was just a rush for me.
It's definitely different than the kids these days, man. Like we were savages compared to the kids these days. We
I
went through some stuff. We did, we were just outside playing. Like we didn't have the video games and the like you said, the social media and stuff. Like that wasn't what we did.
No, it was really like I still have a shield downstairs that I made in wood class in 7th grade, and I had a wooden sword, and I would think I'm Link running around my backyard fighting snake tights, like nerd type stuff, man. But again, that was all good release for stuff that we'll get into. But man, it's just been such a rush in being able to. I mean, we had the Erie Open yesterday, and everything went really good for that. So I was really excited to be part of it. That was part of my comeback finally, and we'll talk about your comeback a little later.
That's
But it was good to
awesome.
get. I couldn't believe it. I did get smoked in fighting, though. I mean, the guy I
Hey
was
man,
pretty
it
close to.
comes with fighting. People don't understand. Like you don't win all the time. You actually learn more from your losses. No champion has ever not lost. Like it is part
Yeah,
of the process. You got to learn to
yeah,
lose and learn from it. And that way you never lose. You just learn. You either win or learn.
that's correct. It is. It is. But it was funny to see where I was at 5 months ago because, as you know, Sensei Arrington, he drives a high stamina class. I mean, of course, through the kicking. So, yeah,
He definitely had
I
a
was,
good expectation, like very high
yeah,
expectations, but it's good. It's good. That's what people need.
yeah, they need that little military background that he kind of brings, and then of course being part of the state police, you know, that kind of comes out at times too. So he's had to correct me. I mean, I started karate at 41, so I'm already set in my ways. So I get in trouble a lot, but you know, he puts me in line. That's a learning time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got started later in the game too. I was almost 27, and that's for
Hmm.
MMA and the fighting game in general. That's later than most people. But people ask me
Yeah,
all the time, and I inspire them to start no matter what age they are because it doesn't matter
yeah,
your age. Start whenever you can. Like it doesn't matter how old you are. It's all mentality. So
it is. It makes people stronger, and I think honestly too, you almost become closer to your teammates then even a lot of your friends, those are the biggest supporters. Again,
Yeah,
we would
and you
not
see
even
them
be doing.
more.
Yeah, you do. You
Yeah.
sweat on them more, you bleed with them more.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. It's kind of a thing. You
It
stink with them
is. They
more.
become family, man, for real.
They do, and that's the best part about that. So, again, for the first time ever on Wednesday, I death gassed, and then I was like, wow, that's where I was at after the surgery and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, let me flip. So then I go to the tournament, and then I do my weapons kata, which was I just went all out, did my open hands, made grand champion, lost to an 18-year-old phenom, whatever. That's fine with me. And then I had to go get dressed and run right into that fight. I was so
That's
whooped
crazy.
out, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's crazy going, especially back to back like that. And you're going against, I'm telling you, even in jiu-jitsu competitions and stuff like that, like going
yeah,
against these younger kids that have been doing it their whole life. Like they might not be a black belt because they're not even 18 yet. You can't even get your blue belt, or you can't even
yeah,
get like the blue belt until you're 18. So
mhm.
it's they're like a black belt level, even though they don't have the black belt.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And
And more
since the Aries
stamina.
is yeah, 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 that's the I gotta work on a little bit with that. So that's gonna happen, and I'm definitely gonna I'll be back to where I'm at. But the thing is summer is actually long. There's not really much that I need to really do during summer. So I probably don't need to really go back till August. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I got some time to work on it, but still, I mean, I think no matter what, those young kids are always going to be better stamina.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, I've
It's all
watched my
technique that
daughters,
could into play.
and that's where it is. My daughter's, now that she's as tall as me almost, she just tears me apart. And I'm like, and I love blitzing, and now she's developed where I used to throw her leg off. And then she now, like, if I throw her leg off, it's coming back with a hard side kick, no matter
Yeah,
what I do.
she's learned you.
She did. But talking about learning and everything, BKFC 72 was the beginning of the Black Widow Borga's reign in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. That night, knocking out Hannah Rankin has been crazy. You've moved on since, but that was the beginning. How was it, that emotion you felt that night?
Oh man, the only way I can describe it is surreal because like there's so much emotion that it's that adrenaline that you can't get anywhere else, that
Hmm.
high that you can't get anywhere else, that all
Hmm.
that hard work, all the injuries, all the crap that you have to go through that people don't see behind the scenes, all the
Yeah.
trials and tribulations that you have to endure to be able to
Hmm.
achieve such a thing, especially in the fashion that I did. I made history in multiple ways that night in 26 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't have gone better, like in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it's the furthest that I traveled, and all that stuff comes into play. But it just
Yeah.
against a two-time world champion boxer, and I never have boxed. I came from MMA,
Hmm.
so just bare knuckle boxing is more my style, 100%, as I think everyone can see.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind being a striker either. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like the guys go rolling around, and I'm like, nah, nah, nah. I mean, they're all 20s, like 18, maybe 28. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna wrap this 48-year-old up, man. I might pull something. I'm good with y'all. Big
Yeah.
old rock dudes, and I'm like, just an old
Don't get me
dude.
wrong, like jujitsu is always I'm a black belt. I love jujitsu. It'll always be my first love, but knocking someone out is just way more it's just more my style. I'm fast paced. Even as a
Yes.
black belt, I'm a fast paced black belt. They call me a bull in
Hmm.
a china shop. But I get stuff
Yeah.
done, and I get stuff done fast, and that's
That's
so
it. I agree. I'm a blitzer, so I catch a lot of sidekicks, man. So
yeah.
it's like I have to have I have pretty much, I'm pretty sure my left side is now hardened like a shield because
Yeah.
I've taken so many sidekicks from everybody, including my daughter. So hey, it's
Yeah,
good
it
training.
does get hardened. It gets used to it.
Yes. It's great. But going back to it, I want to go back to what starts and what makes people like us stronger in going. So a fire within, how pain created your fire. Go back a little bit and talk about maybe the non-heroes that were in your life or something like that, and how it turned you into your fuel to produce the fire that leads to your life today.
Well, it started like that's as long ago as I can remember when I was a kid. I didn't have anyone that really inspired me to be like them, but I had a
Hmm.
lot of people that inspired me to be nothing like them. And everything that I went through as a kid with, domestic violence that led me to MMA, with, relationships that continue the domestic violence, all of the violence and abuse that I went through, it made me a
Hmm.
savage. So, like, I tell my story to help inspire and motivate others, not for sympathy, because I don't want sympathy. I'm grateful as hell for my past. I love my
Right.
past because it made me an absolute savage. Like, I am able
That's
to
right.
endure so much mentally and physically that most people
Hmm.
can't. And I want to be able to show people that they can get through something, they can get through injuries that they don't think that it can, and still fight. There's a lot of things that I went through that most people would have quit on, and I
Yes.
still achieved the highest level of what you can with the injuries that I still worked through. So I want
Yeah,
to be that pillar of inspiration, because it did, I mean, all the things that I went through, it made me stronger.
that's correct. You know, you bring when we were talking earlier, you bring up a big fact of like the way I was raised. I brought up my mother being abused by my father, watching my mother be abused, my brother. My father, of course, was led with a heavy hand on me as well too. I mean, he would almost use anything. One time he hit me with a pack of hot dogs and my mother called children's services on him because it had gone too far, but it was one of those things that a lot of my friends saw from the outside. I could look back at it sometimes and they had sent my brother away because he was getting kind of out of control. My mom needed back surgery. And so we got sent away for the whole summer. So I didn't even see my friends. So when you talk about these things in an outlet for people to go to, we're going to get to that real soon here. But that story hit because I watched my mom. But my mom said one time the police had actually arrested my dad or were holding my dad back. And my mom took the initiative to punch him in the face. She got arrested. But that was
See,
awesome.
and see, and that's always how I've been. Once they put their hands on me, I would fight back, and I always
Yeah.
have a mouth. Like, I am always a blunt person, so
Yeah.
usually the things that I say will make them put their hands on me. Apparently, and not that I
Yeah.
am not saying it's my fault, because it's not my fault. They should be able to control themselves.
Exactly.
So don't ever let
Mhm.
someone tell you that the way you are made them do this, because that's part of the
Mm-mm.
abuse.
Nope.
So, but I
Yeah.
do have a mouth, and I'm gonna say it, and I always have.
That's
But if
it's
they put
good,
their
but you
hands on
know
me, I still fought back, and that didn't do anything but escalate things. And that was before I was a
yeah.
trained fighter. Now I wish someone would, because I am not scared of anyone. I was never scared of
Yeah.
anyone before, but I'm definitely not
Mhm.
scared of anyone now.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where, like, because my brother, he passed away a couple of years my protector.
I'm
He was a
sorry.
big 6'4" and a half point. It's okay. I got through it, but thank you, thank you. But he was my protector. Like, he would take the beatings for me sometimes. As a matter of fact, one time after my dad said, "I don't want your brother at my house," and we were over 18 and I was gonna move in with my brother, he didn't like he wanted to come over and play Mario Kart 64, so he did. And my dad caught him, he was chasing him out. He came back up and started yelling at me. My brother came up the stairs and goes, "Hey, leave him alone. It's not him. I wanted to see my brother." My dad whipped a knife out, and I never seen my dad whip a knife out. My brother stopped and he goes, and then I kind of got for him between them. We left. Me and Tommy had the rest of our day to ourselves. But things have gotten better with all that situation. Of course, everybody, my mom, my brother are all gone. But I remember their stories. I remember their pain I experienced. And that's why I would close the door and play video games. But that's why things are need to be out there more so now than ever, as we were talking earlier about that there needs to be an outreach. And that outreach is going to lead to our next topic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it definitely it there's a lot of resources now, but I've thought of something that really isn't there yet, and this is going to be the first time that it's going to be done. So, I mean, I
Mhm.
saw you put it up there. That it's the
Yes,
Widow's
I
Web.
did.
Yeah, Widow's Web Incorporated. It's the first mobile safe house in the United States. So there's a lot of stationary safe houses that
Mhm.
actually have a lot of waiting lists. It's actually hard to get into them. And if the address ever gets disclosed somehow, there's a lot of times that they'll trace their phone and everything. There's a lot of ways for the user to find them. And if they ever
Hmm.
did, then that's where the mobile safe house will be able to take them from safe house to safe house or get them out of the situation immediately. So it's immediate crisis. So instead of them having to wait or find a place, then that's where we come in, because a lot of the time we want to be able to also have the resources for them not to have to go back, because they usually feel
Yeah.
trapped. They need to go back because they don't have a place to stay. So I'm trying to raise the funds to be able to help them get into a place with first and last month's rent as well, and help those in those situations as well,
Hmm.
along with their mental health and along with their self-defense. I want to be a pillar of a one-stop shop for them to be able to have everything they need to get out.
That story and the beginnings of that are amazing. That's another thing that caught me about that, is because, like I said earlier, my mother took me to those houses. I remember being there and not understanding why I was there. And
Yeah.
those are memories that you think of, maybe lock away as a human, that leads to the things that, makes us stronger as adults.
Yeah, that's also. I mean, I'm also writing a book that'll be released at the beginning of next year, and it's called "Forged by Flames: Trauma to Triumph," talking about my whole life and my journey, what I came from, and even has those stories in there about when my mom took
Hmm.
us to a safe house, and that actually is what kind of gave me the idea. And as soon as I became black belt, and I'm like, okay, I can help others in that aspect as well. So that kind of
Hmm.
like I started finding something that was a little different that's already out there. I wanted something that
Yeah.
would be different but better, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, it makes complete sense because not everybody has transportation. I mean, you can go back to even one of the movies a long time ago. I think it was Tales from the Hood. The first story is an abusive father, and it really takes that moment. I mean, of course, it ends a little spooky and there's supernatural
Yeah.
ends to it, but that story's reality. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen that movie,
Yeah, and
Tales from
also,
the
I
Hood?
mean, there's another difference that we're gonna have is they're gonna be able to take their animals and stuff with them too, because I know actually a lot of personal situations that I know from people that I've known in abusive relationships that didn't want to leave just because of their dog or their cat, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be something a little different too. So we're gonna try to, accommodate everything that we can.
And places like this, systems that you're setting up help things. So I deal with a lot of people. I work in an apartment building, so there's things like VAWA transfers. We get those, and then sometimes the people still get in. Like, say the boyfriend gets in,
Yep.
and you're like, this is just not a good situation. So you do your best, from your job, from a community, to try to protect that. But sometimes these people need protection outside of that, because at the end of the day, I go home at 3:30. So there's nobody else out there outside of
Yep.
those hours, and sometimes they need somebody like this.
Yeah, they need it now, kind of thing, and that's not really out there right now. Usually, if the cops come in a disturbance or something like that, they're not gonna they can give them the information, but they really can't do anything else. So I'm gonna try my best to work
Mhm.
side by side with the sheriff's office so that we could go immediately get them. So it's gonna be an RV. We're still looking for investors and sponsors or someone with an RV to donate for the cause.
Mhm.
That way
Mhm.
we can actually get it started, because I think the moment that we get it started and they see how beneficial and how much this is going to help so many people, that's when
Yeah.
people will be able to come on and help out a little bit, because I've been funding all of it by myself and it's been a
Yeah.
lot.
It always is. To start any kind of dream, there's always a lot of initial investment. Again, things behind the scenes that people don't see. The
Yeah.
raps, the hard work, the late night calls, the things we do, just a little promotion thing, setting up something through somebody else. They don't see that. And it's sometimes hard for us to even fit into our schedules.
Yeah, it's hard. They make it very hard, actually. It seems like so much harder to do something good, which is sad. That's just the
Yeah.
society we live in. The things that
Yeah.
people put money to are just, it's not something that's usually for a good cause, and that's sad. It makes it
Yeah.
a lot harder to do and get investors and sponsors and stuff like that for anything good, it seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
It's
people are
hard.
making, yeah, money easily online and stuff like that, but nobody wants to
Mhm.
pitch money for something that's a good cause. So it's pretty, discouraging a lot of the time. I don't give up on things though. But there's been a lot of times where I'm like, man, I can't keep funding. Like I'm trying my best to do and find people and reach out to RV companies and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
gets discouraging. It really does. It's like, man, nobody wants to help this good cause. And it's like the first ever mobile safe, like it's the first ever of
Yeah.
this idea, like,
You-
which is it's, and everyone that's heard it is like, man, that's such a great idea. Well, all
Yeah.
right, so let's get some people to help get it
Yeah.
started.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Like why do people, and I just think this is another part of society. They want to control these. They feel like they go,
Yeah.
you hear all this outcry, speak out, speak out, speak out. But in reality, they want to control you. They don't want you to tell your story. They want you
Yeah.
to hide and just fall into place. That's not the reason, man. We don't care about that.
And it could because, some people don't like that, the women with the domestic violence stuff usually is like women only. That's not me. It's never been me. There's kids
Yeah.
involved. There's men that's abused. That's not how
Yep.
I
Yep.
operate at all. I'm not like only women. That's not, it's just not me.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
also
No.
like with these RVs though, even the companies that I've reached out to, it's a write-off for them. It's literally
Yeah.
they're not losing a cent. So it's like even if someone was to donate it of their personal that they didn't need anymore, a
Hmm.
drivable one, because not the pool behind is a little bit harder because we wouldn't be able to do it instantly. We have to hook it up. That usually takes about 20-30 minutes. And it's a little
Yeah.
bit not exactly what we're looking for. So but rideable ones,
Yeah.
drivable
Yeah.
ones. But yeah, it's
Something,
a write off
something.
for them too.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you get one of those 3500s and then get a mobile, like trailer or something like people are doing with a lot of the video game things nowadays, just crazy stuff. But it takes that support, and that same support, translates to so many different things, through, like you said, starting with women and then husbands and
Mhm.
children, and then it inspires their dreams, and those dreams always need fueled. Speaking of dreams, I looked up your name, Borga, and it says a rich, influential, and often ostentatious persons in Western African culture. You
Really?
take this tag. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay,
That's
okay.
interesting.
It's very interesting. You take this power that they seem to put up and you use it for good. And that is what I want to get into next, because the good is the strength of family, enjoying the best part of life, the healing process, and having a good support cast around you. And you
Yeah,
have that.
it's been a game changer. I'm telling you, like, I came from toxic abusive relationships my entire life, and staying in that fight or flight mode, my body on constant ready for the next thing, constant
Hmm.
edge, constant anxiety, constant, like, just things that come with trauma and CPTSD, all
Exactly.
that stuff. But man, my husband was the first safe place that he's always been patient and kind with all my triggers and everything, and was
Hmm.
able, I was finally able to heal. And
Yeah.
I'm still healing. It's an everyday process. Trust me, I am far from perfect. It does not, you don't get over those things easy, and you don't get over how
No.
you've lived and trained yourself to live,
Hmm.
and your body's trained yourself, and your mind's trained yourself to live your entire life. So,
Yeah.
but man, it was my body didn't even know what to do for the first couple years. Like it was like, okay, this is a safe space. I don't know how to even act here. So after that though is when I started to break through and started to see like, okay, these triggers, learning more on how to
Hmm.
react better. Even though I'm
Yeah.
still, I still mess up a lot.
Hey, it's different. You'd be like, hey, what do we do about this window? This window is dirty. And you do
Yeah.
like, hey, you might want to clean it. You'd be like, oh, wait a minute, maybe you're right. Oh, look, I can see through it. It's like little dumb things that make a difference. And I think that's the fun part about, living and within a family structure. Of course, what's really fun is that my family right now, they're literally watching WWE, and we're a wrestling
That's what
family.
I always get. That are you a wrestler? I'm like, and I look like a character though. I guess I look like I could be one of them.
I mean, you got to hold yourself to a certain standard. I always say
I
the
said I
thing
do the
that,
real stuff.
if you can't love yourself, who's gonna love you,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
there's no
well,
reason to
yeah.
feel.
That's actually a perfect thing. Yeah, he allowed me to love myself for the first time in my life. being
That's
told
awesome.
that when you're in abusive relationships, you're usually told how pathetic you are. No one's gonna love you,
Mhm.
all that stuff, and it
How
really
to act.
does put a mental, yeah, yep, that the reason why I did this to you is because of who you are, how you are, all that stuff,
Yep.
that you start believing over the years. And
Mhm.
for the first time, I actually started believing in myself and loving myself, and he was, him and his kids are just an incredible blessing for me. I wish I
Yeah.
was the type of parent, to my son at the beginning, but I was going through the stuff with his father, and I was
Yeah.
completely unhealed. It was one of the worst times in my life. And,
Mhm.
I did the best I could, and yeah,
Yeah.
you just hope that you did good enough.
That's all you can hope for. I mean, I have similar problems. Like my older daughter, she's off doing her own thing. She
Same with my
broke off
son.
a Yeah, did you
Yeah.
she broke off an engagement to go play World of Warcraft, and I'm like, "Okay, I get it." I used to play World of Warcraft with when she was this little, but now it's like she's doing that life, so I hope for the best for her. I
Yeah.
know that I'm always here for her, but at this time, I'm focusing on my other daughter's career and just being able to be next to her during that journey and just not missing a moment. You hear all the songs in the world, don't wanna miss
Yeah.
a moment.
Yeah.
I think walk even though she'll kick me in the face a couple times, it's worth it. It's
And
it's worth
it's hard
doing.
not to look back though and be like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that, but you can't dwell on the past. So the only thing you
Mm-mm.
can do is move forward, and it's up to them whether they want to have a relationship, or if they want to keep the relationship going as, a parent and son, or daughter,
Yeah,
whatever it may be. So it's all up to them.
yeah. We're just at this point we're in the time and hey, we're here having fun, but for then you just kind of do you find things to put yourselves into. You make, an organization, the Widow's Web, and then you maintain your career as a fighter, and then you do a lot of different other things as well too, so that
Yeah.
doing things
A
for your
jack of many
sponsors.
trades.
Yeah, you have to be in today's world. You have to be a Swiss Army knife. You have to be able to
Yeah.
sometimes pull money from things.
I like the,
I think
analogy. I like that. Yeah, it's very, very true. You have to have multiple sources of income to be able to survive in the cost of
yeah,
living these days. So
yeah, it is. And you know what? And as long as you love what you're doing, it'll never feel like a day of work. So that
yeah.
therefore it gives you that money and that double process of feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish I would have picked a sport that paid better, but it is what it
Ah,
is. I
it
wouldn't have
is
to
and it
work
is.
so hard outside of the, training, but it is what it is. I do
Yeah.
what needs to be done.
It's one of those things when I look forward to the black belt moments where there's the 18 open weight divisions that are going to
Mhm.
put the $300 up. And then it's like, if the right amount of people don't show up one day, I could
Yeah.
probably get a good chance to win that and just pop in. But that option isn't available to me yet. But it's something that's just challenging yourself. The way I
Yeah.
was able to challenge myself to come back from this injury to go to the TKO Open, the Erie Open yesterday and come back, and you
Mhm.
have a comeback yourself coming
Oh
up.
man, and I
Yeah.
can't wait I love my comebacks.
Yes. They're always the best. They're always the best. I know that right now you've been working hard training. I see the videos. As a
I
fighter, we're
always
always
train,
training.
even when I'm injured, even when I'm healing from
Yeah,
injuries. There's always something that you can be working on. So whether I can
that's
get
right.
punched in the face or not, which I wasn't able to get punched in the face while this recovery, obviously,
Yeah.
but there's still things that you can do that imitate the same thing. There's still footwork.
Mhm.
There's still cardio. There's still strength and conditioning. Everything I could
Yeah.
still do, except for just not getting a real sparring session. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
And
now I
that's
got
really
more
it.
titanium in my face. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be even more
Yeah.
durable because I've had titanium in my face for 8 years now with my jaw,
Mhm.
and seems to do real good. And it should be more sturdy than it was before. So they might actually hurt their
Yeah.
hand on my face. Who knows?
That that's a I mean, I one of our black belts came back from a broken hand and he wasn't into like getting the quick wraps and things like that. So he went back out there, broke the other hand.
Yeah.
You got to watch when people hit these certain things, these certain areas. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, The titanium just makes it more sturdy, so that's why I
Hmm.
usually choose to do it, but they actually had to do it anyway with this one. But it
Yeah.
was crazy. It was just one of those freak accidents that doesn't normally happen. I was winning the
Yep.
fight up until that punch,
Yes, you
which
were.
is it was the number one pound for pound that wouldn't fight me at my weight class, even though she kept calling
Hmm.
me out. So I
Right.
decided to my ego, even though I know weight cuts don't usually go well with me. There's a lot of
No.
backstory to why that is, but I just don't cut weight anymore, and I do the best at
Mhm.
145. But I
No.
cut down
No.
to 136.
Mm.
So, and she didn't think I could, and then I was like, I walk around at my weight class, and she didn't believe me. But
Yep.
she was actually more than me on weigh-in and the day of the fight. So
Yeah. Come
it was
on.
it was just very entertaining because she called me the weight bully, and she really didn't believe that I walked around in my weight class, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Some
and
people, that's the thing, man. People like that's like a lost art. Like people, this isn't a lost art. Don't gain 40 pounds between fights. That's
that's
asinine in
so
my opinion.
stupid, especially boxing. And then you're cutting all that weight and then you're dehydrating and everything. That's so
Hmm.
dumb. And so at like 50% of what I normally am, I knew I wasn't my best self going in, but I know that's
Hmm.
what usually happens with weight cut. Plus the
Yeah.
commission the day before, we were supposed to weigh in at like 11 and they didn't weigh us in until like 3 p.m. or something crazy like that. So I was dehydrated for over 12 hours waiting
Mm-mm.
for the weigh-in from this commission that's supposed to be extra strict on health and all the medicals and stuff like that. But you're gonna
Hmm.
let freaking fighters dehydrate for like 4 or 5 hours past the time that you guys are supposed to be
Oh,
weighing us in. It's just
oh
nuts,
well.
you don't do that. It's stupid. But
Yeah.
anyway, even at 50%, I was
No.
still beating the number one pound for pound. She's had like 13 or 14. I think I was her 14th fight or her 13th fight in BKFC.
Hmm.
She's been the number
Yeah.
one pound for pound, the most dominant. And I was
Yeah.
still, and my ego also wanted to be her at her own game. So I didn't even play
Yeah.
my game, which
Hmm.
everyone that knows my fights, you don't blink. Like I literally usually finish them very fast, very aggressive. But she said that I
Yep.
couldn't box. So I wanted to show that I could box. So I played her
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
ego gets the best of me sometimes still. Like I said, I'm
It
far from perfect.
it does. It does. But the thing is like you said, if that fight happens at 145, you're
Oh,
allowed
it's
to
gonna be my
retain a lot
game
more
next
power.
time.
It's a
Yeah.
lot more of your power. And that's the
Hmm.
thing is like even with the tournament yesterday, normally I like to fight around 154, but I walk around 160, so I'm always like water weight close to mine. But I went
Yep.
into that tournament 168 and I was slow and sluggish in that. But that's what people don't get. Even going up, you have to be at that. You have to be at your
Yep.
best, and you're at your best at what you're used to and what your
Yep.
body's used to, not playing with
Yeah.
these games.
Yeah, and I've made and I know she's seen post interviews and stuff like that prior to reason why I walk around at my weight and I say that 145 is best. I don't cut weight
Mhm.
anymore. I've had
Yep.
health problems that just don't do well with me. I have
Mhm.
Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune that causes my thyroid to be slower. There's reasons why I go on a strict. I always eat clean.
Yep.
I take care of myself on a regular basis because if
That's
I
right.
don't, I suffer more than a normal person for it. And I know that. And
Yep.
that's why I don't strain my body and put this body through the stress like that because it doesn't
Yep.
usually do me any justice. And if someone doesn't want to
That's
fight
right.
me at my best from here on out, they're not fighting me. Like I would want to
That's right.
fight someone at their best though. Like I'm sorry, but why would you want excuses like that? Why would you want
Yeah.
someone not at their best? If you're a real fighter, you want to fight them at their best. You want to beat them
That's right.
at their best because I don't want no one that's not at their best. I want them at their
Yeah,
best.
that's right. You got to be at your best. Like the dude that beat me
Yeah.
yesterday, I wasn't at my best, but honestly, that's fine. The fact that I was still able to hang in there
Yeah.
and do something I'd set, and just me stepping into onto the mats and being able to do what I did with the
After the
forms and
injury.
then the weapons, that right there, I won. I won.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what like yeah, and that's why I'm excited to showcase like and once again a comeback. Last time I had a bad injury that I needed titanium plates put in.
Hmm.
I had literally just got cleared from that surgery, which was a major surgery. They actually had to go through my uh artery, the big artery, jugular artery, which is a big deal. So it was a major surgery, and they had just cleared me, and I took a fight on 10 days' notice with a champion boxer, for Titan
Yeah.
FC, and I beat her in the first round. So
Yeah.
it fuels me in a different way because people don't expect you to come back. Like I've had people since my last one. I don't want you to
Mhm.
fight anymore. I don't want you. I'm like, I don't give a shit what you want. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
this is my life, and you obviously don't know me. I'm the type of
Mhm.
person that wins championship belts and
Yeah.
wins in life because I don't give
That's
up.
right.
I let
That's
those
right.
things fuel me instead of, be scared to go on. I don't, heck no.
You you can't. That's why I have Bring the Pain tattooed on my arm. Well, two
Yep.
reasons. One, so when I punch somebody in the face, it's a nice photo finish. And two, because that is my moniker. It's like Nike's Just Do It. It's me. It's my what I was taught from a kid, getting
Yep.
beat on, like, and that makes people like us tougher. So now we get in the rings with these people and they're like, I'm bigger and badder and I'm
Mhm.
beating on this person, but they won't go away. And that's why we win in the win. That's
Yep.
why we always remember to bring the pain. And that's why we're badasses. And you're a badass because what you do.
Yeah, honestly, pain teaches you so much.
It
It
does.
really does. It's a huge, huge lesson teacher, and people don't allow it to teach them the lesson. They instead on everything else in their past. A lot of people, there's like two types of people in this world. One that holds them
Mhm.
down as an anchor, and they just keep on
Yeah.
dwelling on the past and dwelling on the pain, dwelling on everything that's going wrong instead
That's
of
right.
using it as fuel. That's the second type of person. That's like us. Like we're using it as fuel to making, us better in
To go
every
out there.
aspect.
And that's why, before, I don't want to keep you too long. So I know that
Okay.
we're going to get to the reason why I named this a burning resolution is because going forward, you have a book coming out. You are going to make eventual plans to defend your title. You are going to keep going forward with the Widow's Web. You're going to make and change so many people's lives. The people that love to watch you fight, the people that love to see the pictures on your social medias of your family and the people that you will help going forward when everybody jumps on the widow's web. This together is the next level revolution, showing that people do care in life and that it starts with someone strong like yourself.
Thank you. That means a lot to me because I really want, a lot of people are scared to share their stories too. They're ashamed of it and everything. And for a long time I was too. I don't want, a lot of
Hmm.
people don't want to admit that they were their dad tried to kill them or exes try to do that,
Yes.
that kind of stuff. A lot of people are ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And I want to show that it's actually you're a stronger individual if you're able to share those stories and help others with it. And I want to show
Mhm.
that, you can get through anything.
That's it. That's you as a person. You are straight up who you are. You're raw.
I am
You're
to a
kind.
fault sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you have to have all these different things. You got to wear different masks, but you don't have to be that mask. That can be you. You can speak out. You can do those things, and that's what you do. I mean, it's crazy to think that when people watch the documentary about the pizza bomber, that my grandmother is in that thing, and everybody
Oh,
kind of
really?
laughs about it. Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
crazy.
I told you my family was crazy, and that was my mother's mom. So there's a lot of crazy stories, like some maybe Rob related, some maybe backwoods down in the middle of Pennsylvania crap. So that family, that's what carved my mom. I mean, she was in Gannondale, a woman's only, a girls only school for bad girls. And that's the way my mom always lived. But in that, she found art. She knew how to draw. She knew how to crochet. She knew how to make things beautiful in life. She did.
Awesome.
And that to me is the legacy I carry on. And that is the power that you portray to the rest of the world.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot because I'm very excited about all this, and I'm excited about helping people. And
Mhm.
I can't wait for it to take off. I really can't. And I just want to keep sharing my story, doing speaking engagements at school and stuff like that to talk
Mhm.
to the kids that may be going through the things that I went through that didn't have a story or anything that they can get inspired by. And just
Yeah.
talking to some people, that makes my day. Like being able to
Yeah.
inspire even just one person at these speaking engagements or these seminars and stuff like that, that's
Mhm.
all worth it. That's all worth
It
it
is.
because it's you can see the inspiration in their eyes and it
Yeah.
just I love it.
It's the best. It's, like that's why they say sometimes instead of rushing through a door, give a second and just hold it open for that person behind you, because that could change their day.
Because honestly, it's all up to them. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, I can help you as much as I can, but in the end, and it's all up to you. It's you've got to make the decision to get out. You've got to make the decision to love yourself enough. You've got to make the decision to be strong enough.
That's right. That's right. So I wanted to again thank you for coming on, bringing the pain and telling your story and being able to go back and forth with a lot of these questions. I I am completely besides myself because again, these stories hit home for me. So to be able to talk to somebody that has a bigger voice at times than say I do with my podcast to get that story out about, women and men and children abused, even animals at this point, to get that
Yeah.
story out. There's always something that out there that affects somebody else and just to make a difference. So I wanted to
Yeah.
say thank you so much.
Well, thank you for also sharing your story. I mean, I hate that anyone goes, through that. But
Yeah.
like you said, it does make us stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes us better. Just got to
it
do it.
does. Like I said,
So,
I didn't get inspired by anyone growing up, but I was inspired not to
mhm.
be like them. There was a lot of people in my life that inspired me to be nothing like them, and that's what changed me.
That's right, and that's like I feel that's a big part of my growing up, seeing what my mother went through,
Yeah.
seeing my father, and then trying not to fall down those dark doors that
Yeah.
he went down. I failed at times, but
Me
you have to
too.
pick yourself
Me
back up.
too. Me too, man. It's been a learning process my entire life, like I was kicked out of every school I ever went to. I was always a fighter. But
Mhm.
I wasn't one that started it. I
That's
backed
right.
up the kids and bullied the bullies. I didn't like it because that's, I saw that happening and I didn't never liked it growing up. So I was kind of like a vigilante.
That's the way you gotta be. Sometimes it takes that voice and you gotta speak up. You do it, and that's exactly what it did. So again, I want to say thank you. Before we go, are there anything you want to sponsor your website, the Widow's Web, anything you want to get out there where people can find you on social media?
Yeah, the best place if you go on IG, it's Black Widow Borga, and all my the link tree down there has a link to the book release coming out, all the information
Mhm.
on that. It has all the links to all my sponsors and the businesses that I'm partnered with discount codes. It has
Mhm.
everything, like everything, all my social media links. It's an easy one-stop shop right there.
Hey,
Also, the Widow's Web info, it has all that as well.
I will have that all in the show notes and everything along with all the
Oh,
timestamps
sweet. Okay.
that of course, and of
Makes it
I will
easy.
make sure it makes it easy. And then of course, I will get this over to you audio wise and video wise to use at your own discretion. I know that you love a lot of this stuff and you like to do a lot of these things yourself too. So I want to make sure we get that out and we get that message out because there isn't a better message than having a good message, but causing and curing those message, they're bringing the pain. And that's what we
Yes,
do.
sir. I do want to shout out, of course, we're talking about TKO Erie. Brian's
Mhm.
awesome, but my main sponsors, Secret Hideaway Resort and Spa, they are a
Yep.
huge sponsor of mine, along with Eye Candy. Them two, I gotta thank them for everything they do. They help me through
Yeah.
in between each fight and everything. Shout out to all my other sponsors. I appreciate every single one of them.
Yeah, and of course, that nice shiny belt back in the background. I know that a lot of people are looking at that belt and saying, "You know what? She needs to be my next fight." And when you encounter those people, they're gonna bite off more than they thought because they're gonna be fighting the revolution of the Black Widow.
Yeah, honestly, I was the first ever female to get a knockout in bare knuckle history, so they always underestimate the power that I'm bringing. There's not many girls with my power, and I've said it before, but they don't believe it until they get punched in the face. So
That's that's it.
I'm trying to
That's
tell
that
them, but
classic Tyson.
yeah, yeah.
There's a reason Tyson said that.
That's
Everybody
what a
says
lot
it.
of people are like. You're like the Mike Tyson of this century for females. I'm like, yeah, I like that. I'll take that
You
because I finish them in the first round usually.
I just heard that yesterday from one of the guys. So he's like, he comes back, he does a lot of like yoga training. So he's been stretching us. Brian brought him in, of course, and to
Nice.
to help us get a better stretch, which I'm like, yo,
It's
yeah,
so
I'll take a better
important.
stretch. It
Yeah, a lot of
is.
people underutilize that, man, and it's so important,
Mhm.
especially for recovery and everything. You got to stay loose to be able to feel younger.
Yes. And he goes, you know that saying from Mike Tyson, I don't like to get punched in the face because we had asked about. I was like, why don't you do karate? And he goes, yeah, that's why.
See, I'm different. I actually don't mind it, which
Yeah,
is funny.
not
Someone's like,
bad.
but I mean, I definitely train not to, but I don't
Well,
mind it. Like the
you
hit
have
that
to
I
feel bad.
actually took, if you see most people who actually took the
Hmm.
hit that I took, usually it's just an orbital break, which my nose has been
Yep.
broke 8 or 9 times. People thought it was my nose because it was on the other side of my face. That thing breaks,
Yeah.
and even in sparring all the time. Like it's something that always happens. So the nose wasn't
Hmm.
even the issue. But if you see someone usually take an orbital break, it usually is just a regular orbital break that'll heal on its own, honestly. You don't even usually
Yep.
need any surgery or anything. But you see them fall down in pain, like holding their face and rolling on
Yeah.
the ground and everything. And mine was so bad that my eye was in my cheek. So they literally
Yeah.
had to put a titanium plate that held my eye in the socket and then three more along my orbit. So like
Yeah.
so mine was terrible. And I honestly, the only reason I saw her, I took a few steps back and I saw her coming. So I kneeled down and touched the
Yeah.
ground just to take that knee. That was actually the first time in my life that I've been a smart fighter. So I was like, all right, I got
That's
10 seconds. Let me see if my eyesight comes back. Because at that point I couldn't see anything.
no.
There was
No.
also a ton of corneal abrasions as well. So they
Yeah.
actually had to
Hmm.
suture the inside of my eye, the outside of my eye. I had to get medicine for the corneal abrasions. They thought that I wasn't ever going to see again. It was a big
Yeah.
ordeal, but they wouldn't let the fight continue anyway. So when she was down there counting, she's like, "Can you not see?" I was like, "No." But the
Yeah.
pain and everything, like you're not gonna see me wallow on the fucking ground. No, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But you see grown ass
Yeah.
men get hit with a less punch and they're literally on the ground like I
Well,
mean
there's a
wallowing.
there was a certain fight last night where someone went to go finish somebody for a certain organization, and there was a low blow, and they ruled the match a draw. And
Oh,
so,
really?
yes, yeah, yeah, that
I didn't
was
watch.
Alex
Oh
Perez.
man. Oh.
Smart, yeah. There's always something happening to him in his matches. He always just gets hurt, dude. Keep yourself together. You used
And
to be
don't
a
get
good
me
fighter,
wrong,
but what
like
is happening?
I know eye pokes and stuff like that. That can seriously be dangerous. Like I get
Yes.
that. But man, when it happens like there's like you said, if something's happening every time, come on, man.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
do you want to
Like,
fight or not?
yeah, yeah. It's sometimes, there's those fighters that look for the way out. You could even go back to like that little Isaac Bulgarian thing where like literally he's on video putting the arm into the right place to get choked out, and you can think
Yeah.
about whatever way you want, and you're just like, this is wild.
Yeah, I literally when I took a knee, I was like, I'm gonna see if my vision comes. I want to keep fighting. I
Yeah,
want to keep fighting. Let me see if my
yeah,
vision comes back. I got 10 seconds. It's all good.
yeah.
But
I just
no,
I want to fight, man. That's what
I
I
wasn't
I
that
wish
lucky.
so much. No, no, because you definitely wanted to end that fight. Like you said,
Mm.
you were definitely up on the cards at that point, and you wanted to
Yep.
say, "Oh, let's have a
And I
boxing
felt
match."
great. Like honestly, I felt for 50% of what I normally am, I felt like I felt good. I was having fun.
Hmm.
I mean, I knew she was I was winning, like I knew I was up on
Yeah.
the stairs. I
Oh,
was in control of the fight. So,
you
I
were
mean,
in the
it
flow
is it
state.
is what it is though, the fight game shit happens. It takes one punch, especially in bare knuckle to change
Hmm.
the game. And that's,
Yeah.
it happens.
So that's kind of what Brian and them are trying to get away from a lot, even though there's face contact well, not supposed face contact because this is martial arts, this is rules. They're trying to the underbelts, they're taking away a lot of the head blows. So a lot of my style has had to change because I had to become less aggressive in those, but still be
Mhm.
aggressive because the blitz is one of my major points.
Yeah.
So it's also a training point because as I look forward to my next level, and that would be black belt. He doesn't need a reckless black belt because the true definition of a black belt shouldn't be reckless. It should be
Control.
somebody that control. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
That's why
this.
that's why, yeah, when I got my black belt, I was like, I'm not ready for that. And he's like, yeah, you are. I wouldn't give it to you if
Mhm.
he doesn't give out black belts
That's right.
easily. And
Mhm.
and I was like, no, I'm not ready. I was like, I'm still a little bit of a spaz.
Yeah.
Still.
I'll still go running into sidekicks. I really don't care. I just want to get it because you could get that one moment. It was one of these moments. I have this video. So Brian's yelling at me because they're about to disqualify me. And I'm tearing this dude up, but because I can't hear and everybody's screaming and I'm in a flow state. So I don't even have my hands up. I'm just moving around like MVP. And I look back at my coach at the time, this guy, Len, and he's just laughing. I'm tearing this guy apart. At one point, I finally hear Rob, and I look over, and you can see me look in the video, and they're gonna disqualify you. And you see me go like this. You don't hear it so much, but you hear the Rob, and I look over and go like this, and then you see me go kosher, roundhouse, backhand, reverse punch.
Yeah, so, I mean, sometimes, you need, I guess, that's what the coaches are for. They'll bring you back. Okay, all right, let's do this. Let's finish it. All right.
Yeah. You just got to do it. But, it's like when you're in that moment, it's almost impossible to take you out of it.
Well, that's and I was beating her at her own game. I should have just finished her. I should have just finished her like I normally do and played how I normally do. Like my style is very different from anyone else you see in BKFC because my style is, then they didn't think I had technique because of my style, but I was actually controlled chaos without them knowing I was controlled chaos. And that's how I usually finish them so fast.
Exactly. And that's why, that's the thing is that you can put on the internet all of your fight tape, but that's just the pretty stuff. That's why, our sensei doesn't even allow us to, and I learned this out the hard way, doesn't want us putting anything on social media because he goes, people are just going to scope you. They're going to get your moves and then they're going to beat you.
That's why I do not post a lot of my training because I like to surprise them. They think that I'm, not a good boxer or whatever. I'm actually, the one thing that I loved about that fight is that I got to show that I was better. I got to show that I actually do know boxing, but I'm going to play my game. My game is better. I'm better at my game. I'm not going to let my ego get the best of me, and they're going to have to play my game, and that's going to be real bad for them.
That's right. And that's exactly like what it goes to. So like with my legs, me not being able to use my legs, I've been working my upper body, doing a lot of my boxing. And so that I'm sitting there hitting it and then I'm going home and I'm like putting the shirts on. I'm like, oh, I'm getting big, but now I got to fund that muscle with oxygen. And then my legs are like,
it's a lot. It's a lot to learn, but
if they only knew. That's why they ask, why do you do that? I think it's stupid. No, it's not. Believe me, it's not. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a release, and you meet people you'll never meet.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you and everything you do for our school. It's one of those things that this is where podcasting, this is where the combat sports world takes you. You talk to people that you never would have talked to in your entire life. And you create something beautiful. So I want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast.
Thank you too.
All right.
Have
and one thing out. Have a great day, everybody. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.